more AI-driven products to services technologies. And that's the purpose of the AI4EU platform, to a large extent, that we mobilize the entire European AI community and create better collaboration spirits in this innovation process. And this figure here shows you again how these two worlds has to come closer together: the academic, which we talked today, and the business area we talked yesterday about. So the platform should help to bring these two areas together, so that the output of university, many European projects, research labs, expert in Europe, which provide data, knowledge, asset, tools, that they are visible on the platform, and that the business side can use this tool, can use this knowledge, can use the data and build real innovations, technology, and make business out of it. So I think that's very important. And here we have to see how we can achieve this with a platform. One other important issue is that we have to consider, besides the issues which I already mentioned, that with a platform we have one central place where we can also perform some trustworthiness, so that tools and assets and solutions can be proved regarding trustworthiness. At the moment in the platform, of course, partners can comment this and they describe trustworthiness, but we have to provide also means and technical tools to support this. And one important issue is, of course, to have one European AI on demand platform, that we have really this one-stop shop of European AI resources, that there's a one central place where people can go, where companies can go and look if there are AI components which are applicable for their application and their needs. Let me say a few words about the AI4EU project. Also, already yesterday, the project was somehow summarized, and I mean, you know all this information from yesterday. So it was a large project. It will end in 3 weeks, and of course, it's very ambitious. It has a very ambitious goal. On the other hand, what we really achieved here is, especially over the last 15, 16 months, that all work packages in this AI4EU project has delivered and has provided input to the platform. So I would take out 1 or 2 examples. For example, work package 7, which is led by Alessandro, was originally only dedicated to do high-end research on AI, on trustworthiness, on explainability, and so on. But during the project, work package 7, for example, has put a lot of effort to work on the AI4EU experiment part, and on work on the CMS part of the platform. And that's a very good example that we achieved in the project, that all work packages provided a contribution to the platform on the technical level, on the content level, and this spirit helped us to come with a very promising result at the end of the project with the platform. And here I would also thank the executive board and especially the work package leaders here for their hard contribution, for their effort doing this. And of course, the whole consortium contributed. Of course, more partners are more deeply involved in the platform development, others a little bit less, but I think with this very large consortium, we achieved a very promising goal, and I will show you the results now. The European AI on Demand platform has the following parts, main parts. So the entry door of the AI4EU platform is this AI CMS system, the ecosystem. On the ecosystem, you see all the different areas, this community part, the business area, the research, education, ethics, services, news and events. And this is more or less the information area of the European AI landscape related to AI4EU. So we have a large catalog, we have tutorials, we have news and events. So all information are collected here. You find a lot of information already. Users can now extend information about their projects, about their organization. And from this entry point of the AI4EU system, you can then go to other areas. And one important area and one subsystem of the AI on-demand platform is the AI experiment platform. So this area is dedicated to build AI applications. So it's a platform to use Dockerized AI assets to build with these Dockerized AI asset new AI solutions and to handle these AI assets in a marketplace. So I will go in more details later, and you will see how this can be used. And then you can really deploy AI applications with Docker containers which were provided by other partners. And here I would like to point out that we also changed in the project a little bit the development process. So at the beginning of the project, we had a very centralized development process, which has an advantage to be fast and to be efficient in many ways. On the other hand, I think it's also important for the community and for the acceptance of the platform that many partners are really involved in the development process. I've shown this before with the work packages, so that we also avoid the bottlenecks that only a few partners have resources, especially in such large projects. So in this organization, in sub-development teams, were quite successful. So the work package leaders delivered, and now the platform in the AI4EU project is really owned by the partners of the consortium. They feel responsible to work on the platform, to enhance the platform, to contribute. And this is, I think, one key success factor to come up with a convincing platform and to succeed with the goals. It's also important from my point of view that the source code of the platform is open source, so that it's very transparent what we are doing here. So for example, for the AI experiment part, we are in the process to bring this code into the Eclipse Foundation to have this really as open source development also for the sustainability issues for the future. Also important is the involvement of the ICT 48, 49 projects, and that the partners really can, in this project, can use the platform and can contribute to the platform. So, and the last issue is here that we have established a technical governance board, and that this technical governance board is talking and deciding and discussing technical issues, how to integrate with other platforms, how to bring new features, how new functionality, and to discuss the roadmaps of the technical developments. Here you see the platform on an architectural level, high-level architectural level. Of course, we have a Drupal system, so that's a standard Drupal system, which has a lot of functionality already. And we have the AI experiment part, which is based on the Acomos software, which is now extended. Both systems are connected with the EU login system, with the ECOS identity server, so that we can use directly this login service for authentication purposes, and people can log in and can then work in the different domains of the platform. We have already extended a few CPU resources, but this is also an issue for future issues to extend this, of course. And we have also some legacy systems here on the right side, so the search engine and some other technology which is hosted at IMT. And so these are the main components which are now built the platform. Now I would like to come to a real user journey of the platform. So the platform, which I described briefly in the last few minutes, how people can use or should use the platform. And here I would reuse the comment or the wish from Cecile yesterday, bring the technology from the lab to market. And that's the purpose of the process, so that partners, for example, SMEs or users which want to build an AI application, that they find an AI resource, that they design an AI application in the design studio, that they do a flexible deployment of the platform, and that they also have the chance to publish the result in the marketplace, that other partners can use the solution also in a commercial sense. So, and I would like to start with a research domain. So one typical AI research technology is speech recognition. So if a group of researchers has developed a speech recognition system to describe spoken input to written language, and that's a nice tool which makes a lot of use. And so it already consists a lot of technology. You have to do pre-processing depending on your technology. You have a more classical system or an end-to-end system, and for example for German and English. And with this tool you can upload this into the catalog of the AI4EU platform. You have to provide some metadata. You have to define the research area, the technical categories, some keywords, and then this resource is searchable for others, and it can be also then used by others. For example, here that's just one example of many other examples which were also valid here. Is a speech recognition system translates spoken information into digital text in real time. So this is all metadata is provided here, and then it's also the link to the Docker container provided here, and this also brings the links to the AI experiment part, which manages the different Docker containers. And then we have this resource, this AI application on the platform, in the platform. And this is then really also published here in the marketplace. What is important here is that in this marketplace, we need a Docker container. We need license information, for example, here license 2. Apache license 2.0, and we need some input-output definitions that this component can be connected with other component. The language for connections of components is gRPC. That's also a very open standard to interface web services and different AI tools. And then the quality check is finally done if the interfaces are correct and some other issues. And then this Docker containers is in this marketplace. So the researcher has done his job. He has provided a nice AI transcription software with the newest neural network technologies. And then a typical SME comes around and has the following problem. So for example, this SME should do maintenance for train, for example, for the Deutsche Bahn, but maybe for some other railways organization in Europe. And it has, the employees has to do some visual inspection, and at the moment they do this completely manually. And they want to speak the results of this visual inspections with a speech recognition system, and they want to bring their own entity recognizers because they have specific demands for the entity recognition. And then they go to the marketplace, they search for audio and speech, they find the speech engine, and then they are already happy that they don't have to do this by their own, and that they just concentrate on the NER technology and name entity recognition technology. And what they have to do is here, they have to upload their own named entity recognition to the platform, and with Rails specific and in-house developed technology, then they have to make ensure that this is a Docker container, which is an industrial standard at the moment to use Docker containers. They have to give the license conditions. They have to provide a gRPC interface, which is easy to implement. Martin and Peter will show this later on in the hands-on session. And then the publication process is qualified, and then also the tool of the SME is in this platform, and then they can combine this with the design studio. So they can use this audio transcription software, this tool, and combine this with the entity recognition. There's also a tool which controls the match between the different AI resources, and this gRPC interface allows to combine different components quite easily. And this lowers the innovation barrier for this SME to use pre-existing AI tools and combine this with their own tools. And at the end, if this application is ready, they can deploy this in different areas. They can deploy it in a Kubernetes environment or some other environments, because data is a very sensitive area. They can also do it in their local environment, so that the data of the customer and the users are protected, and that is all integrated in this AI experiment part, that the deployment process can be done easily and the usage of the application can be done in a predefined environment. So that's a typical user story. And at the end, of course, the SME can decide to upload their new solution again to the AI marketplace, to the experiment part. And it has to be noted that the source code can stay unknown, so that it's important that the protobuf and the workflow is described. And we have then here achieved a real collaboration between researchers and the SME. And this shows how this platform can be used. And we have already a lot of functionality and tools in the platform. And of course, this has now to be practiced, used by a wider area of users and SMEs, but it's there, it's available. People, users can now work with the platform, and I think that's a very important success. Again, here's to summarize this process. So here, that's the 4 important steps: how to use the platform and to allow an AI innovation process, find an AI resource, design an AI application, do deployment, and do the publication process again in the marketplace. And this process has now to be practiced. It has to be repeated. It has to be bring to other areas. And I think that's an important step for the next phases of the AI on demand platform. Give me to a little bit conclusion and outlook here. So what we have achieved so far. So we have now a huge marketplace here. You see a screenshot of different tools. We have a huge variety of tools, from NLP tools to planning tools, decision support tools, data source tools. And the very good issue is that we are now connected to the IDS software, which is also important for data sovereignty. We are connected to OpenML. So we already could import tools from OpenML and IDS, which is, I think, a very important step to onboard additional data sources, and we have a runnable data broker for an automatic process to connect with OpenML and IDS. We have several hundred registered users, which are very active now to use the platform. We have also on the catalog very nice AI sets available. We have a lot of news articles, so that's now already in the platform, but it's also clear yet that we now have to extend the catalog. We have to onboard more models, more Dockerized models, and more assets, and to bring more users to the platform, but it's now there. So now it's an easy step forward. So the platform is ready to use. We can onboard new Dockerized containers, but therefore it's important that we are well connected with the AI community, with the other projects, and that they provide their resources to the platform. Last slide is about the sustainability of the platform. So we want to continue, of course, so very concrete. So the Technical Governance Board, which discusses and decides about further technical developments of the AI on demand platform, will continue over the next period. So the next meeting will be in January, even if the AI4EU project will end of December. So we have the nice situation that ICT 49, ICT 48 projects will continue. So yesterday we heard about the ICT 49 projects. Today we will hear about the ICT 48 projects. I'm very happy that Jannis from AI4Media has also decided that the AI experiment platform will be hosted in the context of AI4Media for the next couple of months. So the affiliate EU projects helps to continue the platform developments in different areas. The hosting for the next period will also covered by Fraunhofer. And then, of course, we have the new European projects on Horizon Europe level with the CSA in front of us. So that's hopefully probably a very good solution to continue the platform. So it's not decided yet, but it's in the process. And with the new Digital Europe projects, we have also the possibility to extend the platform. It's technical extension, but I think what is even more important that partners are now using the platform, bring content to the platform, connect to the data spaces, connect to the cloud infrastructures. I think that's to the two main parts which we have to do now, that we bring this technical connection to the available computational and data resources in Europe. And with this statement, I would like to finish my presentation, and thank you very much.
So just a clarification, Joaquin, you told us that after the end of the project, you have talked about the AI4Media that will host the experimentation platform. Is it correct? Did I get it correctly? Can you say some details more here?
We have decided that in the next amendment of AI4Media, the hosting of the platform for the AI experiment part will be new tasks in AI4Media. So Yannis maybe can comment later on this. So thank you very much, Yannis, that this is possible in AI4Media. And Fraunhofer is leading a work package on the AI4EU platform in AI4Media. And so we have introduced a new task for the platform hosting, which gives us the stability and the resources to do this.